Are you spending time lamenting where you are, longingly looking toward where you want to be? Do you compare yourself to others and wonder what it's going to be like to finally reach your success destination? That's not even a word. I'm Yana Henneman, and today we're talking about the similarities between success and blowing up a balloon. And also, there is no such thing as overnight successes. I hate to break it to you, but there's no such thing. Even Tom Clancy is quoted as saying, an overnight success is 10 years in the making. We have made videos on this topic before, but this time we're taking it and we're looking at it from a different perspective. Think of it this way. I don't know of a single person who ever thought, wow, I really want to be a mom. And the next day they woke up and they were rushed to the hospital because they had to give birth. It takes time to make a baby. Or maybe you start a business and you hope within 6 months you're really raking in the dough. I mean, sure, it's happened before, but oftentimes being successful after 6 months comes from really experienced entrepreneurs, and this isn't their first rodeo. It takes time, mastery, finances to become an overnight business success. For the rest of us, we need to grow into the success. In other words, it takes 9 months to grow a baby, sometimes a little bit more, sometimes a little bit less, okay? And it doesn't just take 9 months to make a baby. It takes 9 months to make a mom, a dad, a grandmother, a grandfather, maybe 2 sets, maybe 2 grandmothers, 2 grandfathers. I don't know the family dynamics. The point is that lots of things have to grow into that role. And thank goodness success does not happen overnight. We need that time to ready ourselves for that next chapter. So back to the title of this video, what does success and blowing up a balloon have in common? With the exception of Rebecca Black and her one-hit wonder Friday, which went viral on YouTube shortly after its release, she lost that momentum as fast as she gained it. She wasn't able to maintain it. As fast as she got big, she fizzled out. And while she is currently on the path of pursuing her musical career, she hasn't quite touched that same amount of success as she did when she was 13 years old. She had it, she lost it, now she's on the path to regaining it all again. So, to correct myself, the general rule is there is not an overnight success, not typically. And here's why. Number 1, you have to hold the creation. And number 2, you have to be ready to receive it. How to hold the creation. This is where the balloon bit comes in. Think of it as blowing up a balloon. Whenever you blow up a balloon, and no, I'm not going to go through the general motions because there's probably some gross people out there that will do some unnice things with that video footage. Just imagine blowing up a balloon. You have to hold the balloon as you blow it up, and you have to hold the part that you blow into. I would happily give you a demonstration, except that it would be taken wrongly because this is the internet. So just use your imagination. Now imagine you let go of the part that you're blowing into. If you let go of it, the balloon flies off, right? You have to start over again. The same goes with sculpting your body. If you want to get to a certain weight, you're going to have to be consistent, is the thing. Consistency is key. The best workout is the one you'll actually do. But if you're only going once or twice a month, or one week you go 4 days in a row, and then the next week you don't, and then the week after you go once, that's not consistent. You're not going to lose the weight, especially if you're not dieting with it. It's a fulcrum. You have to hold it. You have to hold your success, much like you have to hold a balloon when you're blowing it up. Also, it takes time blowing up a balloon. I've never met anyone that can take a balloon and take one deep breath and blow up a whole balloon in the process, unless it's a really tiny one. Sidetrack. I do have a theory about this. My mentor / Zen master once talked about why he was not a fan of Hollywood movies. And he was talking specifically about Pretty Woman with Julia Roberts. She was a prostitute. She was hired by this multi-gazillionaire, and at the end of the movie they fall in love, and then he whisks her away and they go live happily ever after in New York. The problem with that is if you actually look at modern history, if a prince or a princess falls in love with a pauper or someone who's in poverty, can they marry that person and then be able to hold that royalty? That new cast, that new role, that new whatever. Can they hold it? Typically what happens is the masochistic equilibrium kicks in. And we've done videos on the masochistic equilibrium. We like to live in our comfort zone, and even our brain has a mechanism of kicking us back to, ooh, this is a little uncomfortable, I don't fit in here. Let's go back to where we're comfortable, and then we do this thing called self-sabotage, whether it be conscious or unconscious. Why my Zen master does not like Hollywood movies, especially when it's a rom-com or romantic kind of movie where a prince or a princess falls in love with someone of a lower caste. In real life, can they hold it? Sometimes, but it's very, very rare. Number 2, you have to be ready to receive it. Being ready to receive success or a desired result has a lot to do with the manner and how you were creating it in the first place. How did you hold your creation? How did you blow up your balloon? Were you consistent? Were you working out a couple of times a week and doing that every week? Or would it again be sporadic? 1 week, 4 days in a row, the next week, not at all, the third week, maybe once? Are you consistent? That's the key. If you're in business, have you been tracking your data? Have you been listening to your mentors? Have you been implementing systems in order to grow your business? Another theory that I have is this could be why so many lottery winners end up becoming bankrupt within a few years after winning the lottery. In fact, I think the statistic is around 1/3 of lottery winners end up losing it all and then filing for bankruptcy. Could they hold the space? Were they blowing up the balloon? They got all this money and they weren't ready. It was like the princess and the stable boy. More often than not, they can't. That's why so many lottery winners lose it. Well, I grew up in poverty or middle class and now I have billions of dollars and make it rain, right? We just go right back to our comfort zone. Here's the main key. Whatever success you are looking for, be it personal, professional, health-wise, mental, emotional, whatever it is, you have to be able to hold it. You have to have some kind of commitment to achieving whatever it is that you're looking to achieve. You almost have to have grit. Another great book, by the way. You have to have that stubbornness that I'm not going to give up. You can push me down 9 times, I'm going to get up 10. I'm going to course correct. You stick with it. Even when it hasn't succeeded yet, you're like, well, I'm nothing better to do. I'm going to just keep on this road. Are you going to walk away from that balloon while you're blowing it up, or are you going to sit there and be committed? Are you going to hold it? Are you going to hold that space? If you're not going to be consistent, success is going to take longer to find you. I'm Jan Henneman. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to me ramble. Remember to like, follow, subscribe, leave us a comment, and remember to subscribe to our weekly newsletter. No fluff, just the good stuff. And we'll have that QR code up next, and I will see you this time next week.